actually way more rare ocean animals, and some of these rare animals most people don't even know exist. And I'm gonna catch every single one of them because I can't let my buddy Wade see a rarer fish than me. So I guess I'll start by catching a mangrove snapper. That's how rare it is. To get it, someone needs to dive into an ocean infested with sharks, and when you finally see one, you need to hit a perfect 360 no scope that has a 1 in 5 billion on trillion. I don't know, but it's super rare. With all our gear ready, we began hunting our first rare fish. The first thing I do when I see a lobster in the hole is usually just check out the area, because if there's one, there's almost always going to be more. And right in front of us, we've got a pretty big one, but under the rock, we've also got a couple really massive guys. Here I reach in and I actually see a couple of antennas, and I pull out the smallest lobster in existence. When I finally decide that I'm gonna strike, he just completely dips out on me, and he's just running for his absolute life. Sometimes lobsters will drop their legs whenever they're stressed out, and you can see all of his legs just sinking to the bottom. But the legs coming off is actually a good thing because it's gonna attract fish into the area that I'm looking to eat. This juvenile Goliath grouper is a perfect example. Unfortunately, these guys are protected, so I'm not able to shoot it, but it really is beautiful, and they could get as big as a small car. When I was done playing with the fish, I looked up and saw that Wade was shoulder deep in a hole, and his big problem is that he's actually way too big. Here you see like a bunch of lobsters piled up. They really don't have anywhere they could go, and I was able to rip one out that was a pretty good size. As you're trying to grab them, they're going to try to whack you, and that's why it's so important that you have gloves. The scariest part about catching lobsters is that there are giant moray eels all throughout these rocks, and it's very easy for them to come and bite you because they're also eating the lobsters on occasion. But then when I grabbed it, it wound up being a tiny nurse shark. You're actually allowed to eat the nurse sharks. This guy was a little bit less than 54 inches. I really just wanted to show him the sky for the first time in his life, and then we wound up letting him go. This last lobster was the one that really did it for me though, because as I was going for him, he kind of just got into a really good stride of swimming away from me. He thought he was camouflage in this patch of grass, and then he like came right into my hands. Now that we've got our lobster for the day, it's time to catch a mangrove snapper, which is the least rare fish we're gonna catch because we're going all the way up to 0.1% catch rate. At first, Wade and I were really trying to stick together because we're in a pretty sharky area, and it's just safe in case a 12-foot bull shark comes out of nowhere. Eventually, I wound up being led to this pretty big porcupine fish, and these guys have a funny behavior. They'll often go take shelter in the rocks, but they're not very fast, and in this instance, kind of just cornered himself and made it so that I was able to grab him pretty easily. Porcupine fish have spikes all over their bodies, and they start puffing up really, really big. Porcupine fish, on the other hand, their main defense mechanism is their spikes, and while it does kind of hurt to hold them because they're so spiky, it doesn't hurt too bad if you have gloves. After a bunch of swimming around, I was finally able to locate the mangrove snapper, and lucky to say, I got a really good holding shot on this one. I shot him right through the middle of his body.